Hello, TJ Bellotti here again. Thanks for stopping back. All right, I wanted to hit on two topics today that will help you grow your business. If you haven't started it yet, it's going to help you really set down the correct framework on which to build your business. One of the things that we always strive to do at our company is to always have a framework for growth and for profit. So one of the first things you need to do, and I think I've mentioned this once or twice before, but you really have to keep at the forefront, whether you are starting your company in next week or next year, or if you've already been in business for 5 years and you're looking for some input on growth and you're looking for how to get to the next step. So the first thing you have to do, you have to have purpose for your business. Now, your purpose really shouldn't just be, I want to make money. Obviously, that is a byproduct, or that is a huge driving factor for most of us. It's why we get out of bed and we go to work instead of staying in bed all day and watching TV. If we could get away with that for a living, most of us would. But you need to have an overriding purpose. For example, and I think this is the example I used once before, there are a number of coffee and water companies, like bottled water or packaged water, that their purpose is to bring clean water to areas of the world that don't have clean water. Or a coffee company that might be selling beans from an impoverished nation to help them with their economy. So their overriding purpose might be better said to have a reason for being in business to do the greater good. How about that for a better turn of phrase? So what is your greater good? Why are you doing what you're doing? If it's to become wealthy, if your only reason to be in business is to become rich, you probably won't. Like I said before, you'll lose interest before you get there because it doesn't happen overnight. But make sure you have that big purpose. One of the things that we're trying to do at our company is to be a vehicle for our employees to reach their goals. So whatever their goals might be, we want them to, while they're working with us, we want them to be gaining ground on their goals. So what I try to say to them is, use us while we're using you to grow. So have an overriding purpose. Let's use some of the common services and businesses that I've talked about 100 times. A landscape company, their greater purpose might be make a neighborhood more beautiful. A carpentry company, their purpose might be to get into old homes that are being refurbished. So their greater good is preserving that history of architecture and old world craftsmanship. So a friend of ours, my family, is a painter, and he is a craftsman painter. He does incredible work, not just with paint, but with things like crown molding in the old world style, with plaster and in the old way, not just cutting and nailing modern milled trim. So his overriding purpose, and whenever we talk to him, is to preserve that craftsmanship style of painting and decorating and ornamenting or making a house ornate. There you go. So those might be some of the types of overriding purpose for your business. Find what yours might be. The second thing is know your worth. And I don't just mean know your dollar worth, although that's extremely important, but also know your personal worth. There are some clients that might go against your values and your character and what you hold dear as truths and morals. Don't deal with them. I was just in a conversation, I believe it was yesterday, about an architectural firm that the client treated the architectural firm's employees horribly. And what I mean by that is that client treated them verbally terribly. They spoke horribly to them and used very rough language with the female architects. And the company didn't fire that client because the money was too important. So the company lost some of its worth by allowing the client to treat their employees so poorly. In fact, one of the employees left the company because of that client. So we have to know our worth, not just in a dollar sense, but in a moral sense, in a character sense, in our values. And if If, for example, let's say, and this sort of thing happens all the time with clients. They want a discount if we don't pay sales tax. Well, it's illegal not to pay sales tax, and to be honest with you, for the couple of dollars that I'm going to spend on a client for sales tax, I am not getting in trouble with the State Department of Revenue. So we always tell them, no, everything we do is above board. If we collect it, we pay sales tax on it. If we have employees, they're covered by insurance and workers' comp. Everything we do is above board because I don't want to have that worry, and it goes against my brother and my personal morals and values of trying to cut corners and trying to game the system. That doesn't mean not to use the deductions and expenses that you can. Of course, you take full advantage of all those breaks, but at the same time, you don't want to be jeopardizing your own personality and who you are in your core just to make a few dollars. Now, the other part of know your worth is know what to charge. We all have a tendency, like I said, especially at the beginning, and unfortunately some people, as they continue to grow in business, they don't learn this lesson. You need to charge what you're worth. The client is either going to accept you as a professional, and you should be. You can't base a higher fee if you're not a higher quality company. So if you're coming in at $100 an hour and the market's $80 an hour and you're really only worth $70 an hour, it's not going to work for you in the long term. Eventually that will catch up to you. But if you're worth $100, if you are far better than the market, if you are innovating in your area, if you're the only one that's doing a certain service in your area, then charge for that. Don't cheat yourself at the bank because you're a little bit nervous about giving somebody that rate. So a couple things to think about. Make sure you know your bigger purpose. Make sure you know your value as a person and your dollar value, and keep slogging. You never know how close success is. Often it's right around the corner. So hope you all have a great day. Stop back soon. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much.